stand back here. Hold on. Hello, my name is Tucker, and today I'm going to make Taffy while I talk about nostalgic / childhood books because I'm bored and I have nothing else to do. So, every time I've made Taffy, it has failed. So, we'll just see how this goes. I'm gonna get out my ingredients and just start talking about childhood books. So I've always been a reader since I could read. But the first book that I remember loving was actually not a book, it was a graphic novel. It's the Geronimo Stilton graphic novels. I might be the only one who remembers those, but I have a distinct memory of going to the library and just coming home with a stack of those graphic novels and just, hold on, I need to find a measuring cup. Gosh darn it. Here we are. Anywho, just going to the library coming home from the library with a stack of those and going straight to my room and just reading them for the rest of the day. And that is such a nostalgic and pleasant memory for me. So that would be the first nostalgic book. Another one I remember is, and this is a little more recent. This was when I was, I think maybe 11. But it would be The Girl Who Could Fly by Victoria. Don't remember her last name. I think it's Victoria Stone, maybe. The Girl Who Could Fly is like a sci-fi fantasy middle grade. But the reason I love it so much is because it was one of the first times I remember putting a book down or turning the last page and thinking, wow, I just love reading. And it was the first time I remember truly being blown away by a book and just sitting and just being in awe, and then also just realizing how amazing reading was. Another nostalgic book would be Calvin and Hobbes. Again, not a book, it's actually a graphic novel. Not a graphic novel, it's a comic strip. But Calvin and Hobbes is, it's just a staple. If you haven't read Calvin and Hobbes, you have to read it. It's literally just, you have to. Calvin and Hobbes is basically about this boy and his stuffed tiger who he goes on adventures with. I think there are about maybe 10 books, but I've read them all multiple times and I own most of them. The reason Calvin and Hobbes is so nostalgic for me is because it was another one of the first books I remember reading, and I still distinctly remember when I discovered it. So it was a Friday night, and my family used to do Friday night movie nights. So we would watch a movie, and then halfway through the movie, we'd take a snack break. So during said snack break, my mom went to her room, and I followed her, because I was trying to get her to make me a snack. And so I was talking to her, and then while I was talking, I was looking through her nightstand, because I am a curious / nosy child. And as I was doing this, I found a comic strip, or a comic book, and I was like, what's this? And she's like, you're too young to read it, don't read it, it's gonna go over your head, it's, slightly inappropriate, which is kind of true. But I didn't listen. I took it to my room, and I read it, and I was hooked. So, after that, my dad got us the rest of the books, and me and my brother shared them. And I've been hooked. I read them to this day. I still read them. Yeah. Let me think of another nostalgic book, because I didn't make a list, because, I'm really good at not being prepared. Oh, Harry Potter is a very nostalgic book. I think it is for a lot of people. But I started reading the Harry Potter series when I was 9, I think. And I read it in about, I would say, the span of a month-ish. But I really enjoyed it. I think I haven't reread it. I need to reread it. But another distinct memory I have of reading the Harry Potter series is on the way to my grandmother's house. We were listening to the audiobook, and I remember just not wanting to stop. And I remember when because we were listening to it on CD. Remember those days, CDs. But we were listening to it on CD, and occasionally my parents would pause it to like look at directions or talk to us or something. And I remember every time they paused it, I would just like die inside because I was like, I do not want to stop. I need to keep going. If you don't play it, I will lose my mind. But yeah, Harry Potter series is another nostalgic book. Another one that I just remembered was The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. That one was another one that we would listen to regularly on the way to my grandparents, but it's basically about this family. Well, there's two main families, but basically there's this one family that's like super basically naughty and not good at obeying and doing good things, and they join this Christmas pageant, and it's basically just like the Christmas pageant becoming chaotic and also hilarious, and it was just one of my favorite Christmas books growing up. Hold on, where is the candy thermometer? Here it is. Candy thermometer. There we go. A nostalgic book, and it's a book, but it's not like, well, the Bible is nostalgic to me because I was raised as a Christian. I still am a Christian, but like I have a lot of memories of reading the Bible, specifically the illustrated one, which is always fun. I also have a distinct memory for the Bible. I remember on the way to church. This was something I was still learning to read. I remember sitting in the car with the Bible on my lap, and it was an illustrated Bible, but sitting in the car and turning the pages and just reading each word. And then I remember I read a full paragraph and was like, oh my gosh, I figured it out, I can read. And I remember the pure joy, and I was like, I have so much power now, and I just got so excited. Yeah. Now, at this point with the taffy, I don't know if I should stir it or just let it sit, because again, I've done both, and both times it has failed, so I'm just going to let it sit. Oh, but first of all, I want to add, I'm going to add some food dye. I don't really know what I'm doing. I am just good at improvising. Ugh. What color should I make it? I'm going to make it blue, because that's the fullest bottle of dye I have. Another nostalgic book, and this was a little more recent as far as my lifetime, but like would be the Garfield comics, and I still read those, but I also remember going to the library on a weekly basis and just going straight to the section where the Garfields were and looking for the new ones, and then taking home the new ones and just sitting out on the swing and reading them. That was also a highlight of my week. Another nostalgic series, and this one is less known as far as I have seen, which is it's either the Genus Files or the Genius Files. I don't remember, but I found that series because I got very bored as far as what my library had. I would read the things I know, and then occasionally I would just look for new things, and this was one of the new things I was looking for. Hold on, I need to check the temperature. Okay, so the Genius Files, is it the Genius Files or the Genus Files? Hold on, I'm gonna Google it. Yeah, it's the Genius Files. Basically, it's about these two kids named, no joke, I think it's, is it Coke and Pepsi? I think it literally might be Coke and Pepsi, their names. Yep, Coke and Pepsi McDonald, which, that's just, okay, interesting. Anywho, these two twins, Coke and Pepsi, are geniuses, and they're basically on the run trying to save the world, and all sorts of special agent secret stuff, and I love that series. Ooh, another really nostalgic series, and again, I only read this series about 3 years ago, but still nostalgic, because I was in middle school 3 years ago, but, would be the Land of Stories series by Chris Colfer. And let me just say that Chris Colfer is an amazing author. I have loved every single book he's written. The Land of Stories series, A Tale of Magic, and he also has another book, A Tale of Witchcraft, coming out next year, and I am very excited. But the Land of Stories series, I don't remember how I oh no, I do remember how I discovered it. So my library does these things called playaways, which are basically audiobooks on this little handheld device. And I remember just searching through the library stacks and finding it, and it said The Enchantress Returns, which is actually the second book in the Land of Stories series. But I picked it up, and I was like, this looks really good, so I'm going to try it. And it didn't really make all that much sense because it was the second book, but I tried it anyway, and I loved it in spite of the fact that I was a bit confused. So I did some research. I was like, oh, oops, I read the second book. So I read the first book, and then I read the second book again, and then I just continued on through the series. And when I was reading the series, now it's completed, all the books are out, but while I was reading this series, not all the books were out. The series hadn't been completed yet. So I still remember, there are 6 books in the series. I remember getting the 5th book and coming straight home and, like, shutting everyone out. I was like, shut my door, no one talk to me, this book, and I are going to be alone for the next 2 hours. So I read through that book, and it ended on a cliffhanger, and I was, like, going crazy. And then when the 6th book came out, I remember, number 1, I pre-ordered it. And this was, I don't usually pre-order books, but I was like, I'm going to pre-order this, I need to get it as soon as possible. I remember, I pre-ordered the ebook, and strangely enough, the physical book ended up getting to my library before the ebook got to the Amazon account I ordered it on. So I ended up, and my brother, he checked it out of the library, and I was literally begging him to let me read it first. I was like, I will pay you, I will do chores for you, I need this book right now. Fortunately, he gave it to me, and I sat down, and I read the whole thing in about an hour. And I remember standing up in, like, basically a daze, and I was like, whoa, like, that ending, and I was just amazed. And I also cried because I was so sad that the book was over. Another series that made me cry when it was over would be, and this series is very, very underrated. I don't think many people have read it. It's the Janitors series. Basically, it's about this kid who discovers that janitors have magic powers and that they protect the world against monsters. And as silly and, like, outlandish as that sounds, it was actually amazing. Uh-oh, I cooked this taffy too long. We'll just see where this goes. Oh, boy. So, this taffy has been cooked for too long. We'll just see what happens. Let's just hope I don't burn myself or anything else. Please don't spill. And there goes some sugar burning up. No, Luna, don't bark. Don't really know what to do. I feel like I probably should have buttered this silpat. Oh well, too late now. Anyway, what was I saying? Ah yes, the Janitors series. Very underrated, but very, very good. Now I just need to wait for this sugar to cool so I can start pulling it. Oh, it's already cooling. Uh-oh. That ain't good. Ooh, hot. I think this might end up just becoming candy glass. I mean, it tastes good, but, like, tastes like cotton candy, but I feel like This isn't what I had planned. This is why it's always a good idea to follow a recipe.
5 points difference between quality time and physical touch. Tucker.
Yes.
I took the love languages test.
Uh-huh.
Whoa, what the heck?
It was supposed to be Taffy.
Did it work? Why is it that color?
Because I added food dye. And I don't know if it works.
It's like the color of bleach.
No?
No, wait, no, it's not. No, it's like green and blue.
Yep. What were you saying?
I got physical touch as my love language.
Yeah, mine was gift giving. I think. No, was it? It was, no, I don't remember.
What's happening? Oh, that's confusing. Also, yeah.
Uh-oh.
I got physical touch, then quality time, then words of affirmation, and acts of service was my least. Of course. Yeah.
So at this point, I'm just going to see if I can make lollipops out of this, because this is not going well. But honestly, I tried. And that's what counts. I'm literally using toothpicks and a spoon. This is fine. Anyway, what was I saying? I can't remember. Silence while I try not to burn myself. It does smell and taste good, though. I just don't think it ended up being what I meant it to be. I think if I end up making lollipops, it'll be all good. Hold on, I need to... Oh, no. The other still pat is covered in pizza sauce, which means I can't really use it. Uh-oh. We love the smell of burning sugar. Don't bark, Luna. This is going well. This is fine. I'm fine. We're all good. I'm not losing my mind. Is this ready to be, like, can I still pull this? Can I salvage this? Or is this not gonna go well? Yeah, this is... Oh boy. Well, I mean, it's not... I don't even know what's going on, honestly. I mean, it just tastes like cotton candy to me. I feel like I could probably do something with this, but... Ow.
Tucker.
Huh.
Shame on you, you left the red paint open.
The what?
The red paint. Oh my word. It failed.
Yeah, no shirt.
Language.
But I tried, and that's what counts.
Anna is a child. I'm gonna sneeze.
It tastes good, though.
What is it?
It was supposed to be taffy.
Is it just sugar and...
Technically, it's just sugar and water.
Yeah, I'm not gonna eat pure sugar. Oh, wow.
This is why I don't do candy.
Yeah, we done it. I think she sees a squirrel. When did you see a squirrel?
Trying to think if I can salvage this. I don't think I can. I'm literally just eating pure sugar.
Do that.
But you know, I tried. I knew I would fail. I better try it anyway. Is that smart? I don't think that's smart. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, nostalgic books. Let me think if there are any other nostalgic books. I mean, there are, just my brain isn't working today. As you can see. Helena. Nope, I'm not gonna give you pure sugar. Okay. I'm putting this in the trash. This is not gonna go well. It tastes good though. It just tastes like cotton candy. I just need to stop eating it because it's literally pure sugar. Okay, so what did we learn? Candy is hard to make, and I need to stop trying. Yeah. It's a good thing we have, like, 2 whole bags of sugar, because otherwise, that would have been a waste. I mean, it was a waste, but interesting. It's like candy glass. And now it's stuck in my mouth. The basic sum of this video is bad decisions were made, and this is why I can't be trusted with candy making. Anywho, thank you for watching. Goodbye. But I mean, like, look how pretty that is. Anyway, I'm going now. Goodbye.